In order to change the oil in your car, you're going to need new oil, the correct type and amount, along with a new oil filter and an oil wrench or sandpaper. You can find this information in your owner's manual or go to AutoZone and they can give you the information if you know the make, model, and year of your vehicle. You're also going to need a car jack as well as something to support the car if the jack fails, and a funnel. So the first step in changing your oil is to get the oil up to temperature. I would recommend halfway to running temperature, somewhere in there. The easy way to do this is to take a quick drive or do what I do, which I would not recommend. First step is to chock the wheels and put your emergency brake on. So now we're gonna jack up the car. The first step is to make sure this is turned all the way to the right so that this little thing here, and that'll allow the jack to go up. So we're gonna put the handle in the jack, start jacking the car up. You wanna make sure the jack is positioned on part of the frame of the car and not the axle, because the axle moves. So now that the car's jacked up, we're gonna put things here. These are to prevent the car from crushing you if the jack were to fail. So now we're gonna go under the car and locate the oil pan, which is right here on my car. We can see the nut right here. That's where we're gonna unscrew to let the oil drain out. We've got the drain back here. Let me grab that. So now we have the oil pan here, and we're going to need to figure out what size nut this is. Okay, so it's a 14 millimeter, so we're gonna unscrew it. Okay, so once you get it loosened, you can just hand untighten it. I would recommend wearing gloves. So we wanna make sure we get the washer and the nut. We don't wanna let the washer go into the oil pan, or else you're gonna have a hard time getting that out. So once it starts to get loose, make sure you have a grip on both of them for when they come out. Okay.
Some body parts under here. What have you been doing?
You don't have to wait for all of it to come out. Like once it gets to about this point, it's fine. So we're gonna go ahead and hand tighten this back on. We're gonna grab our socket. You wanna make sure it's nice and tight. You don't want this coming off while you're going down the road. Next up, we have the oil filter. So you need to locate your oil filter. Mine is right here. So we're just gonna use some sandpaper to try to grip it better. Okay, we got it started. So we're gonna put the oil pan underneath of it now.
Where's your phone?
You're gonna get oil all over you, so you definitely wanna make sure you have a glove on. You can just drop it in there, you're throwing it away anyways.
Son of a gun. Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
So an important step is, as you can see the seal here, you wanna stick your finger in the used oil and lubricate the seal with some of the used oil. So we're gonna screw this on hand tight. It's gonna be hard to spin it because of the oil. You could use that other wrench we had before to tighten it down, or in this case, I'm just gonna use sandpaper. You just wanna get it as tight as you can. So now we're going to drop the car back down. So we're gonna take our stands out. Just like how we tightened it down and turned this to the right, we're gonna turn it to the left this time, but do it very slowly. Okay, now that we have that done, we're gonna pull the jack out. So now you need to locate where the lever is to pop the hood on your car. So we're gonna do that now. Then underneath the hood, there's gonna be a little latch you have to lift up. And then you have this prop over here. So we're gonna be putting the oil in here. As you can see, it says 5W30. Make sure you check the owner's manual as well, or if you know the make and model of your car, you can look it up on the internet. You also wanna make sure you put the correct amount of oil in. This car calls for 4 quarts. So we're gonna put our funnel right here. Don't try to do this without the funnel. So now we're gonna check our dipstick, which is right here. It's usually got a bright color. So you need to wipe it off to make sure when you dip it back in there, the oil is accurate. You see it's right on that max fill line there, so we should be good. You may want to make sure that nothing gets in here at all.
Not even sand?
Not even sand. You can put this back on now. You want to make sure it's nice and tight. So with your used oil, you just want to recycle it. You can take it to AutoZone. So now you're going to want to start your car to make sure and check underneath and make sure there's nothing draining out. So we're going to start the car now. Look underneath. Doesn't seem like anything's draining, so we should be good. Now you just want to go for a test drive and keep your eye on the check oil sign, or if you have an oil gauge, keep looking at that. And that's how you change the oil on your car.